I think that the peplum hem midi dresses that have been seen in retailers this year are inspired by the hobble skirt of the 1910s. And I also think the attitude and opinion of the skirt will continue to change because midi skirts were popular in the 10s and everyone wore them and they weren't seen as daring, whereas now I think they're quite a statement piece and are usually worn more for nighttime occasions. Actors and actresses were the main fashion icons of the early 1900s. Charlie Chaplin's character was always dressed to the nines and he inspired many men to dress more formally. I think the 1920s fashion stands out dramatically compared to other eras because of how extravagant it was. There was a lot of social and political changes, especially with women and their role in society. The flapper was the most familiar symbol of the Roaring Twenties. Flappers were women who were rebellious, especially with their fashion sense. They wore shorter skirts and men would have previously had control over what they wore and what they did, whereas they sort of did their own thing. The 1960s changed fashion drastically with the involvement of new shapes and colours, and I think that's what makes the 60s fashion so interesting.
Well, personally, I've got three favourite eras, and that would be the 20s, the 60s, and the 90s. But the reason why I like the 20s is because it's got like a Gatsby influence and everything's so extravagant. So you've got like the parties, the glitter, the diamonds, the evening where you've got the feathers and the headbands. It's like completely different and like so more outgoing compared to the other eras.
Yeah, I like the evening where the ladies were in the 1920s too.
And was there anything at the V&A which stood out to you from that particular era?
Yeah, I saw a embroidered slip dress and it really reminded me of something we'd see on the high street today. I really liked that. I'd wear it myself.
A lot of the fashion at the time was created to enhance the movement, and dance was very popular at the time. It gave women a lot more freedom to move, as there was a lot less restricted by fashion. And the flatwoman was created by the influence of jazz, and the flatwoman was typically young women who smoked and drank.
What I found really interesting to research was the 1940s, because it really told me about like, the utility clothing and how it made things easier for other people, because it was like made out of more affordable fabrics for everyone. And the women used to use furniture materials and parachute steel to make like clothing and nightwear and also underwear. So I just found it really like interesting to learn about. What did you find interesting?
I found the 60s quite interesting as well, because obviously they used a lot of bright colours. Even though it wasn't directly after the war, I feel like they were still recovering a bit from it, and fashion changed drastically during that period with shapes and colours.
Like this floor places, which is actually my sister's. It really reminds me of the silk dress that I was speaking about in our eras video. It's embroidered, like it has the base detailing around the bottom, as you can see, like the lace trim, the eyelash trim. And it's also floral, and a lot of evening wear in the 1920s was floral and made out of the show this blouse out of my own personal wardrobe, which is from Zara, which I purchased not long ago. I just wanted to show it because it shows that the Victorian era's fashion trends have come back around and that lace detailing is really back in.
I did agree. Sorry. What's it called? I did a group video about the eras with some of the girls in the class. We filmed it actually in the V&A of some of the garments, but then we filmed the talking bit in the Science Museum. We found it quite challenging because people kept walking past and distracting us. Like, obviously it was a public place, so it was like obviously going to happen, but it was just a bit annoying. But despite this, we was all happy with the final video. I decided to add to the group video to add a personal touch to it about my personal favourite eras. I decided to show a clothing item for both mine and my sister's wardrobes which reflect a past era's fashion trend. By showing these items, I wanted to portray how similar styles are still worn by today's generation.
Okay, let's give Kirsty a bit of feedback. What do you think she did well? Yeah?
I liked the way she compares trends back in the era to trends now.
Yeah, good. Anything else? Anything? Yeah?
I like how the video you sent it out, so it's like you were having a discussion and that you said something.
Yeah? Okay, good. Thought your communication was good, you're confident, you look like you prepared. So yeah, well done.